Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Land. In the last part we did just over half the game, and now we're gonna finish the place off with this level, which is actually my second least favorite. It's also the only cave level in the game that's not the final level of a stage. At least as far as I can recall. Yeah, it is. Now, the freaking spiders might not look that dangerous, but you'd be surprised how many times you'll probably die to them. In fact, that's one thing I didn't mention last part. You can get lives very easily in this game, but you can just as easily lose them. I'm looking at stage 4-2 in specific. I really like that sound, by the way, when enemies die and they just bounce off the screen. That's actually probably the best part about this game, is the sound design. I'll get more into that later. Oh, God! Of course, it's the spider that kills me, nothing else. It's always the damn spiders. I'm getting flashbacks to It, actually. Ugh. That's not a movie I want to have flashbacks to. And more rocks. Seriously, where are those things coming from? There's a waterfall there. Why am I questioning logic? More importantly, actually, why am I questioning logic in a Mario game? That's not one of the RPGs, at least, because the RPGs at least follow some form of logic, no matter how twisted it may be. And that was 3-2. The bonus game is actually, one thing I forgot to mention about it, is that ladder, while it can be a detriment to you, can also be one of your best interests to use it, if you want to get the 3 life, the 3 live bonus, because, really just a matter of timing. You'll get lucky more often than not, probably. Like me in this part, weirdly enough. That ladder usually screws me over, but in this playthrough decided to help me out a bit. Maybe it's because it knew the recording curse existed. Probably, actually, now that I think about it. Also, they're weirdly enough playing the cave music when it's open lights. You okay? And I just now realized, all these years later, that there are moais on those freaking trees. What the hell? There's a bonus stage in there, but I can get to it. That section there also reminds me a lot of Mario 2 The Lost Levels. Because there's a certain stage that has a setup similar to that you have to go into, otherwise the stage loops. Oh, Lost Levels. Not looking forward to playing you eventually. Oh god, be careful. Okay, I'm good. Let's go! What the... As I mentioned last part, the control is the worst part of the game. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Oh, and this section has what I like to call Gutsman Syndrome. What does that mean? It means you drop like a bloody rock. Gravity should not work like that, but it does. Gutsman stage does the exact same thing, if you remember that from my Mega Man 1 playthroughs. And we're coming up on the boss. Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Hoi. That's its name. It's a weird moai head, that's for sure. You can either Super Ball it to death, which I cannot do, obviously, because I only have a mushroom. Or you can jump on the rocks it throws, which is the strategy I recommend. It's not as hard as it looks. And with that, we're on to the final world, the Chai Kingdom, which actually has my favorite song in the game. You know, that'd be really disturbing if a woman randomly turned into a spider. Yet again, that reminds me of It. The book of that movie isn't bad. It's not good, but it's not terrible. But the actual movie, it's much more of a TV special, really. Itself is just, ugh. But Tim Curry is enjoyable. And I love this song to death. As for enemies in this zone, we actually get a rather interesting one right off the bat. That right there, the Pianpi, which is based off a Jiangshi, which is a jumping zombie from Chinese mythology, I believe. Hopping vampire or zombie, rather. Yeah, Chinese legends. After that, we're getting the next stage, especially. We're gonna get the Pon Pon, which looks a lot like the Panzers from, Mario Brothers 2. We're also gonna get Rotodiscs lookalikes, Rotodiscs being those things from, Bowser's Castle in Superstar Saga, and any castle, really, in freaking... what's it called? Mario Brothers 3. There we go. That took me far too long to realize. We're also getting YOLO-lins, which are these weird snake things in the next stage. Then all the rest of the enemies are in the final stage, which I'll get to when we get to that. Welcome to War... Actually, no, I thought we were in World War II. Never mind. I was looking away from the actual recording when I had to read all those names, so... that's why I thought we were in 4-2. Never mind. And the thing about the Piampis, as I show off here, they will not die unless it's by a Super Ball, I believe. If you just jump on them, they will survive. And I had no idea that extra life was there. Huh. Learn something new every playthrough, I suppose. It's also around this point, and in the next stage especially, where I just say, screw it, run. My acceleration's up to the wazoo, so might as well use it, right? And that was World 4-1. Nothing too bad. Although I hate the enemies. In fact, that's the entire reason I hate the last world, is because of the enemies. 4-3 isn't that bad, but 4-2, ugh. And now the ladder's deciding to help me, although I kind of wanted the Super Flower, honestly. Welcome to my least favorite world in the game. First off, there's the Pon Pon, which is the Panzer ripoffs, and it kills me, and that happens about, 6 to 7 times. No, 5 times actually, never mind. There is a lot of stuff out to kill you in this stage, so don't be surprised if you get a game over here. I do believe the game has continues, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I got a game over. Probably close to... oof. At the point this gets uploaded, probably close to 8 years since I last got a game over in this. Because this is going up in 2015, I just now realized. Oh god. It's currently December 30th, by the way. Oh boy. I wonder when this is going to get uploaded. I'm going to take a guess and say sometime in May? If I'm right about that, I'm going to laugh my ass off. I'm probably actually really close to being accurate on that too, because I still have a lot to go on, because Illusion of Guile will be going on for at least another 10 days. But suppose I'll find out then. Also, sorry if I sound a bit sniffly right now, going through a bit of a weird cold. Then again, I seem to always be going through some sort of weird cold, spring especially, but winter, it's just weird. And that was a weird way to say weird. Hey, Rotodiscs! I don't know why these are here. And they killed me. The weird thing is, when you die, you'll actually spawn in this screen, and they won't spawn in. None of the enemies will on the screen you're on, I believe. Do not quote me on that, though. I'm not sure the exact programming chain for this. Actually, in the last part, I was looking up the speedrun record, but I don't think I actually ever found it. Let me get Speed Demo Archives up. I really love that Can Can remix, by the way. What the heck? I just got a weird beep in my ear for like the past 30 seconds. Sorry about that. Well, we're done with World War II. It took out a weird cave motif towards the end, which is weird. And that's the last bonus game. Wouldn't you know, I got the best reward for it, too. And I needed those lives, too. And random genre switch again. Welcome to the final stage of the game, which is a shooter level. Enemy-wise, we got these birds, which are just called chickens. We're gonna get these weird spark-looking things, They'll show up eventually. They're called Chikakos, or otherwise known as Glitters, I believe. And then we're gonna get these ship guys, which are called Rokitans. A lot of the enemies actually do have other alias names. I'm not sure where they came from, but they do, but a lot of them just have these weird Japanese names, and I don't know why. Speedrun record for this game is just under 13 minutes. Wow. Anyway, that's what you decide. This level is not that bad at all. It's kind of long, but it gets really easy once you get that star. All final levels should have invincibility power-ups hidden somewhere just to make it incredibly easy. And not have a giant bottomless pit. I'm looking at you, Sonic CD. I should get to doing that game soon, because I should do another Sonic game eventually. I'll do that after the Battle Network games, actually. Oh, that's right, that's coming up next. Ugh, I don't want to finish that series off, but I have to. It's gonna be sad. Anyway, we've got this this room, which is here solely to get an extra life or so. I don't think it's possible to get every coin in that room, though. Huh. And now we got this section, which reminds me a lot of the final stage. Well, not the final stage. One of the final stages from Mega Man 8. That flying section, if you recall correctly. And we got spikes there. I don't get the point of those. Anyway, time for the final rooms before the final boss. We also get these random mass fists coming up here in a moment. Right there, actually. I do not get the point of those. They don't even have an official name. They're just called pipe fists by the fans. Anyway, final boss of the game is not Tatanga, but is instead Biokintan. Well, it's technically not the final boss. It reminds me a lot of Krako, but now it's time for the final boss. Against Tatanga. We'll see what he looks like a bit more in detail in the sequel, but he's a really, really easy final boss. His only attack is to do this little spread shot thing, which is really easy to avoid, honestly. So if you just pay attention to where they are, where you are, and just mash the fire button, you should do pretty well. The only thing to really keep in mind is the fact that there is a time limit. But with that, we're done the game, ladies and gentlemen! Hey, the dialogue's different. That must mean we're done the game. Actually, yeah, we are. It's only 12 levels long. Actually, that means the speedrun only takes about a minute per level. Huh. Well, actually, not including the shooter sections, because those almost take a required amount of time. Wow, that's kind of... I should watch that later. And random-ass spaceship. What the hell is this doing here? And I love this credits theme. Oh, it's so good. And, ladies and gentlemen, that was Super Mario Land. And how is it? It's weird. That's for sure. The control's the only real negative I have with it. It really just feels a bit wonky. The sequel would go on to fix that, but for this one, it's a bit weird. But as for the game itself overall, it's enjoyable. It's a nice little distraction. The music is probably the only reason I go back to it nowadays, but for the Game Boy game, it's pretty good. I played better, but it's not that bad. And it's obvious to see why it's so weird, because Gunpei Yokoi, the Metroid man, by the way, and Game Boy itself, actually. Because he created the Metroid, the Game Boy, and I think the Wonder Swan created it. Tanaka, I love you for the soundtrack. And Amita. And Mr. Yamanaka. It's weird, for the first half of the credits, they have official names, but then around this point, they start going by weird nicknames. At least I'm assuming Mashimo's a nickname. Reminds me of Massimo, actually, which reminds me of Mega Man, which is up next. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is the finales of the Battle Network series, with Battle Network 5 Team Proto Man, then going into Side Beast Gregar. So I look forward to that. And as for the next Mario game we're playing, I'm going back to probably either Mario Land 2 or probably the original Super Mario Bros. Actually. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, and I should mention, if you press the start button here, you go back to the title screen, which you can then press start again to go into expert mode, which is honestly not that different. With that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in Battle Network 5.